Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Thursday. It is the 18th day of July. It is Insurance Nerd Day today. It's National Caviar Day, National Dapper Your Data Day. I don't know what that means. National Sour Candy Day. I'm a fan of sour candy.
I am
Like
too.
the Sour Patch Kids and those kind of things. And like the really super sour, or whatever those were. I was a big fan of those.
Yep, me too.
Nelson Mandela International Day, Perfect Family Day, and World Listening Day.
What was that?
World Listening Day. Heidi, all of those things happening on this Thursday. And I've got a Dear John letter, and I'm excited to get Heidi's take on this, but it's a couple who had a baby, and they were asking the family not to share photos, and they were sharing photos in just a private chat for family, and then her mother-in-law shared the photos, and it's turned into a big honking deal. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Heidi has to say. You could chime in with your advice if you'd like as well at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. A new survey has revealed a surprising thing that is likely to turn on your partner: house cleaning. Yeah. 2,000 adults found that 69% agree that the simple act of seeing their partner clean things up can, rev their engine, so to speak.
Why don't we try that out tonight?
Yeah.
See how that goes.
When we get home, you do some cleaning. And oh, you mean me? The survey found both Gen Z and millennials would rather receive the gift of a clean house than an expensive purchased present.
I agree
Twice
with
as
that.
many women find the smell of a clean home appealing, more so than those who prefer the smell of flowers. Going back to the most important part of the poll, 67% of people even said a clean, fresh-smelling home would make them more likely to, get fresh with their partner. So, guys, maybe, do the dishes and make the bed and whatever. There's probably other things. I've never done them, but I'm sure that they can be done. I've tidied up around
you
the
help
house.
a little.
Yeah. Surveys and
You
studies
usually
and
make
such.
more messes than you,
I don't mean
you
to
pick
but
up. But
yeah, I know. Surveys and
I
studies
know.
and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
It's rad.
It's bad.
It's 80s. The coolest rock vacation of the summer.
Retromania Live.
August 21st through 25th, the Mansion Theater.
Starring Vince Neil, Bobby Brown, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Night Ranger, Tom Kiefer, Tiffany, Lou Graham, Pauly Shore, celebrity autograph signing, costume parties, and more. Single day tickets on sale now at RetromaniaLive.com. Produced by Branson Star Entertainment.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that guinea pigs were once sacrificed wearing earrings and necklaces and wrapped like sushi? Yeah.
Okay.
Some archaeologists discovered in Peru 100 dead guinea pigs that had been sacrificed that way in the 16th century.
Okay.
Clearly part of some sort of ritual, adorned with earrings and necklaces made from color strings. Some were even wrapped in cotton rugs like a sushi roll. They were published in a journal. And now, here's the thing you got to keep in mind. There might have just been one really weird dude that lived in that village. Because think about it. There's probably weird people who do weird things now. So it's not like, oh, everybody was doing this. They found all of these, 100 of them together. It might have just been one really weird guy. We don't know everything. But now
So bizarre.
we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com. This is interesting. Sharon Stone was dead broke after she suffered a stroke in 2001. Said she opened up about her finances. Took 7 years of recovery. In an interview, she had talked about this. She had $18 million saved, but when she checked her bank account, it was
Jeez.
gone. It forced her to stay away from acting for a while. She said she's not bitter because she decided to stay present and let go and now lives for joy and purpose. So I'm trying to see if it says.
Where on earth did her money go?
I don't
It was just
know.
living for
It
that
just
long
says
without
people
income?
took advantage of me over that time, so it was taken.
jeez.
And we're heading back to the swamp. DreamWorks Animation announced Shrek 5 is in development right now.
That's insane.
It's set to come out July 1st, 2026. And Grey's Anatomy is paging Dr. Meredith Grey, for a longer shift in season 21. Apparently, at the end of season 20, virtually everybody was fired. And there were a bunch of people who were, including Meredith, they were either fired or threatened to walk out. So apparently, because of that, online people were upset. So now they're like, okay, we're going to write more lines for these people and you're coming back. So they found out that, hey, just because we don't want these characters doesn't mean the people who love the show don't want them. So,
Okay.
all right, there you go. That is your Big Screen, Little Screen report brought to you by RadioSavings.com. Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on RadioSavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at RadioSavings.com. That's RadioSavings.com. Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. With all the concerns expressed lately about the possible dangers of artificial intelligence, it's good to know that it can be used to provide positive change in people's lives. Apple and Google and other tech companies have rolled out a number of artificial intelligence tools designed to make life easier for people with a range of different impediments. These include assistive technology in the form of eye tracking tools that let physically disabled users control their iPhone with their eyes. So that's putting the eyes in the iPhone right there.
Okay.
And there's another one that's a detailed voice guide for blind users of Google Maps. Another AI generative tool is great for accessibility applications because they're designed in various formats, including text, audio, photos, and videos. That means if a person needs to get information in a certain way, this tool could probably provide it. For instance, by turning audio into a written text for a hearing impaired user. What's more awesome is that these new developments can also be used by others who might require them, such as for the elderly. So here's the thing that I will say. There are many AI tools that I look at and go, that's really neat. I think that's cool. I like that they're doing that. But there's some of them that I go, wow, that might be taking it too far.
Some of them are a little alarming.
I saw a thing, and I've not dug into it too deeply because I'll never, ever use it. And you throw another ever in there. But it's a thing where you can actually like clone yourself for a video. And then when you're on a Zoom call, you can have this thing sit there and listen and pay attention.
Oh.
And then it'll even chime in and say the things that it thinks that you might say during the Zoom call.
How bad would that be if there's a glitch?
Exactly. I was like, what if it was listening to Heidi instead of me, and it says the stuff she would say in that call? That would be horrible. Yeah, I don't see that tool as being a helpful one for me anyway. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
And it's time right now for Dear John Letters.
Dear John, dear John.
All right, here we go, Heidi. I'm excited to see your reaction to this letter. Here we go. Dear John, my husband and I have a new baby daughter. We decided before she was born that we were not going to post photos of her on social media. And we asked all of our friends and our family not to post photos either. Neither grandparents have even met this baby in person yet. It sounds to me like they live far away,
Okay.
I believe. There have been video calls, and they should be able to meet her very soon. But for now, there's only been photos that were shared in a private chat. Everybody was respectful because they asked them, we don't want any photos posted. And then she said, I found out my mother-in-law was posting photos on her Facebook page. I messaged her and said, hey, can you please take those down? And she said, no. I want to be able to share pictures with my friends. And my mother-in-law thought it was insane of me to completely restrict sharing any photos online. I told her it's important to maintain our daughter's privacy, and she still refused, and my husband wouldn't deal with it. So I removed her from the private chat. Well, now she's getting photos from some other family members, maybe even this lady's husband, I don't know, but she's continuing to post them. She said my husband finally asked them to stop, but they feel they have the right to do what they want to do on their social media pages. Other family members have said we're blowing this way out of proportion. My husband and I feel this is right. We are considering telling them to take down the pictures or you're not going to meet the granddaughter. What do you think? Is that going too far? Signed, Private Mama. So it is a different day and age that we live in today, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would have never even thought any of this kind of thing when our kids were born. But what are your thoughts? First of all, Heidi, do you think?
If the parents are saying don't share pictures of my child, then don't share pictures of my child.
Exactly.
And I would make sure that there are no pictures going her direction.
I would just quit sharing any photos.
Yeah, don't share photos.
And again, I don't understand why. Again, this is not. So we're answering Private Mama. I don't know what advice we can give you. If these letters were coming from your mother-in-law, I would say remove the photos and be respectful. Because again, that's what they asked for. Even if you don't understand it. Even if you're like, why can't I share a photo of my granddaughter?
Right.
It's my granddaughter. I'm proud of her. Wait until the time is right.
Right.
The mom and the dad are saying no. Now, I don't understand exactly why. I know there are some people who share photos, I think, way too early. I've seen photos from like the delivery room where I'm going, there were things in that photo that shouldn't have been shared on social media.
Right.
Like things in the background. I'm like, oh, no, that was way too early. So again, I don't know what your reasoning is for not wanting the photo shared, but again, it doesn't matter. It's not
Doesn't
up to
matter.
me.
It's your child.
So let me see what we see. My husband and I feel it's right. We're considering to tell them, take the photos down or you don't get to meet your granddaughter. What do you think? Is that going too far? Heidi?
I wouldn't send any more photos to anybody, period. None.
But would you say if you're going to keep posting photos, we're not going to let you even meet the girl? Do you think that's going too far? That's what she's asking.
Well, I mean, if they're so disrespectful of you that they're going to say, I'm going to do what I want when I want, yeah, I'd probably say, no, I'm not taking the kid over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredibly rude.
That is
I can do what I want.
on your,
yes.
like this is what you've asked for.
Right.
And again, even if I don't understand it, even if I don't agree with it, if that's what you want, I'm going to respect that.
If that's what you want for your child, that's what I'm going to abide by.
And, I know.
And all this mother is doing is making it impossible for her to have any sort of a relationship with her grandchild because she's causing problems.
Yeah.
And is it worth it to have some pictures on your social media page? Not at all.
And here's the thing I'm going to tell you, and this is just an outsider looking in. All babies look kind of the same. I mean, I've seen baby photos, and I'm like, oh, that's a cute baby. But I feel like every baby I've ever seen, I'm like, that's a cute baby. So I bet grandma's friends probably get the idea that this is a baby, and they kind of have an idea of what this baby looks like.
I don't think they will care one bit if you don't share photos of this little child.
Yeah,
so you should keep the peace in your family and just stop.
Yeah, well, and again, it's up to the mother-in-law at this point because she's the one that's doing this.
Exactly.
And I think that your husband should have a nice chat with his mama, and it sounds like he's done that, but mama doesn't care. So I think that your response is probably very, very warranted. You can chime in with advice as well at facebook.com/Jon and Heidi Show. Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The color orange was named after the fruit, not the other way around.
Okay.
So the color was named for the fruit. So it wasn't like they had that fruit. They're going, it's orange. What should we call this? How about an orange? No, it was the other way around.
Okay.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dandelions are loaded with vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin K, not to mention calcium, iron, and potassium. So
Wow.
I remember when I was a child, we had a neighbor 2 doors down who would eat dandelions, and she was kind of crazy. She was a bit of a
I
hippie.
had a neighbor 2 doors down that would eat box elder bugs.
Okay, well, your neighbor's weirder than me. Fun fact
I
for you,
win.
Heidi.
What's that, John?
Mozart wrote the melody of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star when he was 5 years old. How cool is that?
Cute.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When you're 31, you'll live your 1 billionth second. Yeah. And our
Okay.
final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Sesame Street characters Ernie and Bert were named after the police officer and taxi driver from It's a Wonderful Life.
I knew that.
That is really kind of fun. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
It's rad. It's bad. It's 80s. The coolest rock vacation of the summer.
Retromania Live.
August 21st through 25th, the Mansion Theater.
Starring Vince Neil, Bobby Brown, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Night Ranger, Tom Kiefer, Tiffany, Lou Graham, Pauly Shore,
Celebrity autograph signing.
costume parties, and more.
Single day tickets on sale now at RetromaniaLive.com. Produced by Branson Star Entertainment.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. Most of us have at least one of these that they have not used in at least a year. What is it? Oh, I have some that I don't even know what they're for.
Oh, gosh.
They're in this room.
Chargers?
No, a key. So
Oh,
on this set of
yes.
keys,
I have keys on my key
I was
ring.
trying. Me too. I was trying to figure out what some of these. I'm like, what is this key for? So
Yeah.
we should go through those one of these days. It's the key to your heart. Oh. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com. Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com. Now, some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Pickles are a hot item these days, especially with Gen Z, so why not pickle cupcakes, right? Huh? Sounds weird to me.
Yeah.
Pickle brand Clausen and Baked by Melissa have joined forces to create this first-of-its-kind dessert. Well, we at least think it's the first of its kind, and we at least think it's a dessert. The Dillicious pickle-infused cake and pickle buttercream icing, complete with festive red and white sprinkles on top, was introduced in celebration of Pickle Month. Clausen says they're expecting that pickle cupcakes will be, quote, the perfect unexpected twist for pickle fanatics everywhere, end quote. Yeah, unexpected is the key word there.
Yes.
I just don't know. I love pickles, and I even like the pickle chips. I didn't think I would like those. I'm like, oh, they're
I
pretty
do
good.
too, yeah.
I just don't think a pickle cupcake is something I need in my life.
No.
So,
No, me
and it's
either.
not just because I'm avoiding carbs. I would avoid this even if I was not avoiding carbs. All right. Weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. We talked about this yesterday. People are trying to save a few bucks, so they went on Reddit and are saying, hey, what's something that you've done being frugal that's worked out
Right.
really well? Here's part 2 of this list. Using the library. They say it's free. It's the last sanctuary you can go to, and you don't have to pay a fee for anything unless you bring things back late. So
I
just don't
have
do
been
that.
using the library lately. I love it.
Another one, being a semi-vegetarian. They said, I found out it's a lot cheaper when I don't have meat with every single meal. How about this? It says, we never, 99% of the time don't, pay for coffee. We just brew it at home instead. Mm-hmm. And then how about this one here? It says, we buy high-quality versions of a thing and take good care of it. I wasted so much money replacing the cheap stuff before. So,
Yeah.
here and there, you spend a little extra dough on something. And then it says, I pay in cash when I'm hanging with my friends. It automatically limits my drinking and my spending to whatever money I have in my pocket. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. that is the list. You can find this and the one from yesterday. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from George Costanza, a character on the TV show Seinfeld.
Yeah, love
He said,
Seinfeld.
I love a good nap. Sometimes it's the only thing getting me out of bed in the morning. I love that character, and I'm a big fan of the show Seinfeld, but that character is one of my favorites, and I like him even more now that I know he's based on Larry David.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, I can see this for sure. Quote of the day comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And here's the headline. Hero bystander stops an elderly woman from sending $40,000 to a scammer.
Oh.
Yeah, quick thinking Good Samaritan and North Texas police sergeant heroically prevented an elderly woman from losing $40,000 to a scammer. Body cam footage by the White Settlement Police show the actions taken to keep the victim from losing her money. Elderly woman had been convinced by a scammer posing as a member of her bank's security team to deposit her cash into a Bitcoin ATM. The scammer had been calling her all week, threatening her and instructing her to send that money. The scammer even arranged for an Uber to pick the woman up from her retirement community and drive her to the bank.
Oh my gosh.
She withdrew $40,000 and was on her way to make the transaction when a vigilant citizen stepped in. Mindy Jordan, who was stopping for gas and cash at a gas station, noticed an elderly woman with wads of $100 bills in her purse.
Oh my gosh.
Sensing something was wrong, she called 911. She said, I noticed an elderly lady feeding thousands of dollars into a cryptocurrency machine, and the people on the phone sounded foreign, and they were FaceTiming her to make sure she was putting in the money. She waited on the phone until police sergeant arrived. That's when they instructed the elderly woman to stop inserting money, and they took the phone from her. It says she never hit the submit button, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
He kept saying, hit the button that says I'm done, and she didn't do it. If she did that, the money would have been gone.
Oh my gosh.
Said, I was irritated, not just as a police officer, but as a human being. Thanks to the quick actions of Mindy Jordan and Sergeant James Stewart, the scammer was thwarted and the elderly woman saved $40,000.
I hope they were able to find that person.
Sadly, I don't think that they were, because that's just the way that works. The second they disconnect.
Disgusting.
But let this be a lesson. First of all, that would never happen. Your bank would never say, take the money out of the bank, that we have, and then go stick it in this thing and give it to us this way. Just be careful out there. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.